Oh, you. Hey, you. Where's the camera? Say hi to the camera. Tell the humans how much you love them. Aw, who's a good boy? Yeah, I know. You're a good boy. Somebody's having a really hard time with separation anxiety, which has made it kind of a rough day for us, in addition to everything else that happened today. Spoilers, I'm filming this on Tuesday because I have access to the ability to record at home, and I really just want to actually record some stuff with a playmat. It's nice to do it. I can't do it in the car, there's just not enough space for it, so um, whenever I get a shot at recording, I'm going to try and record at least something. And I've learned my lesson. I'm not recording with the computer anymore because the last time I actually had a shot to record, I lost it all because of that. So, here we are back in the bedroom, and it is time for new set versus old set. Last round, Edge of Eternities pulled out some pretty cool cards. Brothers War had a decent set too, but we ultimately decided it was an Edge of Eternities victory. So, we are looking at going into round... I think we're doing 5 now, aren't we? Yes, this is round 5. Round 5, and Edge of Eternities is up 3-2. If I remember correctly. No. Wait. Give me a second. They each got 1 point in round 1. Yeah. 3-2. Edge of Eternities. You can tell I'm not getting enough sleep. With that said, both packs have potential. This series, this chapter in the new set versus old set series has been actually a really compelling one. I'm loving both packs. As I've said before many times, Brothers War is just a really fun set to pull. I'm very much enjoying that. And Edge of Eternities... No! Be right back. Okay, before you yell at me, Snoop, it's fine. The pack is good. There's no damage to it. Don't give me... Don't give me hell in the comments, okay? It's been a rough day. As I was saying, I really am enjoying this space set so far, though. I'm actually thinking about going out and buying some more packs just to open for fun. But I haven't decided whether I want to do that for sure or not. I am trying to make sure I don't spend too much money. I did sink quite a bit of money into pre-order of some Avatar cards just to get ahead of the curve before they went up crazy prices, which they may not, who knows. But anyways, at least I have some stuff secured, and I am hopefully, if everything goes well, going to attend a pre-release for Avatar as well. I've paid for the ticket. I just hope that it won't get canceled, or that I won't have to go to a dinner that I'm thinking I might have to go to on that night. I'm hoping the dinner will be the night before. That week, pre-release week, happens to be the same week as my dad's birthday, so obviously if my dad decides he wants to eat on the day of pre-release, I will be going to the dinner, but hopefully, if all goes well, I will be able to attend both. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me at the beginning of this. Even Kaiba's like, Daddy, get on with it. And I don't know when my dad's going to be back, so I want to get this done before he gets back and gets upset with me for having the blind open. So let's kick this off with the Edge of Eternities, since they are the ones who won the last round, and they are the ones who have the lead. If they pull something huge in this pack, they might be able to secure their victory today. I don't want to jinx them, because that would be terrible, but I'm just saying that honestly, this is a bit of a make or break point for Brothers War, because I don't know whether it can get the 2 points back in the final 2 rounds and tie it up without some serious heat. So here we go. We're starting with Divert Disaster. 1 in a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do, you get a lander. I do love that counter spell, actually. That is one of my favorites one of my favorite spells from this set. Banishing Light, that I don't care about as much, so that's going down. I get to do this again, finally. The reason Banishing Light's going down is because I just don't like having the enchantment remain on the field as a target for the person to try and hit to get their stuff back. Fungal Colossus is definitely going back up, though. I love this card, and I'm glad to have pulled a second one. You can put this into any deck that has a whole bunch of, like, actually differently named lands, like, not basic lands, essentially. And this thing is going to just be really cheap to put out into play. 5/5, and then you can give it trample and other stuff later on. I'm for that card. For sure. Oreplate Pangolin. I haven't actually pulled this one yet. 1 in a red, 2/2. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 count. Ooh. Ooh, it's a robot pangolin too. Cool. I like that. Peregrine Beckoner. 4 in a black for a 4/5 horror. When it enters until end of turn, another target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. And it has warp 1 in a black. I mean, that's not terrible. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. It would be really good if this had flash too, but sadly it does not. So I will put it here, I think. Because I do like that it'll save a creature of yours, but basically you're expecting to like send it into battle and kill it for that to work out. 4 and 2 blue for a Mechanozoa. Mechanozoa. When this thing enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. It has warp 2 and a blue. If you got to put a couple more stun counters, maybe it's a 5/5. That is pretty good, but I mean, 6 is expensive. I'm going to mid that one too, I think. Thawbringer, 2 and a green for 4/2. When it enters or dies, you get to surveil 1. That's not terrible, but again, we've been over this. Things need to have bigger butts for me to be happy with them, not bigger power. So, mid you go. Terrapact Intimidator. 1 in a red for 2/1. When this creature enters, target opponent may have you create 2 lander tokens. If they don't, you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on this thing. I mean, landers are decent for sure. It's going to be an insanely weak creature if they give you the landers, though. So, I'm going to put it top, though, still. I think that's a lot of value. Alpha Dreaming Acolyte, our first legendary of the day. Human Cleric, 2/3 for 1 blue and black. That's not bad. When it enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact. Okay. During your turn, this thing has Death Touch. Me likey way much. I don't know where I've been taking those quotes from lately. I think I watched some sort of comedy in my sleep the other night by accident. I listen to videos on YouTube, and sometimes it just kind of goes off the rails and picks some random stuff. Sometimes I find it funny. Pulsar Squadron Ace. 1 and a white for 1/2. When this thing enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a spacecraft from among them, put it into your hand. The rest go to the bottom in a random order. If you didn't put a card into your hand this way, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It's okay. I do like my spacecrafts, but I'm not sure if I will let you go top because your butt is bigger than your power. And I do always say that that is the best. Annul counter target artifact or enchantment spell. For 1 blue, that's pretty good. Possibility Technician. Whenever this creature or another Kavu you control enters, exile the top card of your library. For as long as that card remains exiled, you can play it if you control Kavu. If I want to build a Kavu deck, that's actually a pretty cool card to build it around, essentially. It's just too bad it's not a legendary, but I do like that card. Decode Transmissions. It is a common for our holo. 2 and a black. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, instead you draw 2 cards and everybody else loses 2 life. Nice. It's actually pretty decent. And an island. Okay. Yeah, you gonna snuggle up to Daddy? I know. He's a little upset with me because I got a little upset with him. I wanted to go out and grab us a nice lunch, but he just got really, really clingy and got so sad. And sometimes that's really frustrating for me, but I'm trying to learn to be better with that. He is a really good puggy, though. And he helps me learn. Don't you, baby? You're helping Daddy learn to be more patient, yes. I'm not trying to steal your greenie. I don't want your greenie. You ate all your other stuff? Yep. Good boy. Glad you ate the food. That's the important part. Alright, let's get this Brothers War pack open and see if it has the chops to win this round. Definitely has the chance. I think that pack was rather mid, to be honest. Yeah, I put a few things up here, don't get me wrong, but ultimately I would say that if I were really to split this up properly, I would put those to the bottom because I just really don't care for those at all. And then I would say that the best cards for sure, well, that one's really type specific, so is the Kavu one. Yeah, I would say that that's actually probably the way it would go. So there's like 6 pretty decent cards there. There's 2 very good ones, but they're specific to something. And then we got 1 legendary, which was a nice one, but it's definitely got, definitely not top tier pack is what I'm trying to say. So Brothers War, you have your shot. Can you capitalize? That is the question. We have a token on the back, so we are definitely not getting a list card today. It is a nice artifact soldier token, though, which I do not have a lot of, so always good to have an extra one of those. Art card. That is one of the legendaries. I think that's the red one, if I remember correctly. And it's a pretty decent card. We're starting off with a forest, and it's a holo. Hopefully that's a good sign. I'll put the holo next to the token. There we go. Perimeter Patrol. 2 and a green, 3/3. Whenever an artifact enters a battlefield under control, this thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's okay. Philology Archaeologist, 1 and a blue for a 0/3. When this thing enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You can put a non-creature, non-land card from among those cards into your hand, or you put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Okay. Mid, you go. Curate, 1 and a blue, surveil 2, draw a card. That I actually like. Lets you get through some of the top of your deck if it's not good. If you like what's on top of your deck, you get to draw it right away. I'm pretty happy with that. For 1 and a blue, yeah. That's a top pull. Gaia's Courser. 4 and a green for a 4/5. When this thing attacks, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you get to draw. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. That's a pretty good trade-off. Symmetry Matrix. 4. Whenever a creature with power equal to its toughness enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 if you do draw a card. So this works really well with tokens. This works really well with certain creature types, probably. Like, I'm not really sure if there's anything I can specifically come up with. There is a Kavu sitting in front of me right here, but I'm pretty sure the other Kavu was not... yeah, it was a 2/1, so I don't think that works for the Kavus necessarily. But there are creature types that kind of have more of a even split. Anyways, I think that's a pretty decent pull overall. Mishra's Research Desk. 1. put it into play. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice it. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until your next turn, you can play it. And it costs 1 and a red down to earth. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm not really a fan of Impulse Draw, to be honest, but I mean, it is pretty decent if you're wanting to get something into play from exile, for example. Like, if that's what your deck wants to do, then I think that's kind of niche, though. So I'm going to put it mid. Ooh, Loran, Disciple of History. 3 in a white for a 3/3. Well, that goes with the Symmetry Matrix. Whenever this or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, return target artifact. Oh, I forgot we pulled this before, and it's amazing. That is a really good card, actually, for any deck that likes artifacts. I am pretty stoked about pulling that one again. Good legendary. Scrap Trawler again. Nice. Whenever this or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you get to return a target artifact from your graveyard with lesser mana value to your hand. I actually really like this card, and pulling another one is pretty solid, because that means I can put it into some of my other artifact decks. Or future artifact decks. Ooh, I'm not sure if I pulled that one before. Self-Assembler. 5 for a 4/4 Assembly Worker. When this thing enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an Assembly Worker card, creature card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Actually, yes, I have pulled that before. That's very, very niche. I love the artwork on it, but that is so niche. That's got to go mid. Tyrant of Kerr Ridges. 4 and 2 red. Flying. When this thing enters the battlefield, deals 4 damage to any target. Pay 1 and pay 1 red. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 4/5. That's a decent dragon. I'm not going to complain too much about that dragon. That's pretty decent overall. You can definitely buff the snot out of that thing, and then it still has a decent enough butt that it might survive whatever blocks it. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with it. It'd be nicer if you could give it trample too, but I'll still take it. Gilded Lotus? No way! That is really cool. We pulled a hollow one too. 5 to put into play, tap, add 3 mana of any one color. I love this card. The artwork on this is pretty sick. Hollow is pretty solid. Man. There's a decent set of cards up here. There's a decent set of cards. You know what? I'm leaning towards either calling this one a tie or giving it to Brothers War. I don't think the space set delivered on this one as much. I think Lorraine, Disciple of History, definitely beats this. As much as I love Death Touch, that first ability, what was it again? Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards or an artifact. Yeah, no. I think this is insanely good. If you build a legendary creature / artifact deck, which I do have one, and one copy of her is definitely going into that deck. Yeah, no, that's too good. That's way too good, yeah. I'm going to give it to this one. Alright, so that is our episode of New Set versus Old Set. This week, I think we've tied it up yet again. I think the series is knotted up at 3 going into round 6. That's my opinion. You let me know in the comments what you think. Kaiba is thoroughly over all this. And it is getting around that time that we should probably get to bed soon. As much as I hate to admit that, because it is beautiful outside. But some of us do have to start work at like 3:30 in the morning tomorrow. You. Anyways, thank you for joining us for this episode from Kaiba over here and I over here. To you all, take care, much love, and have a great rest of your Thursday. Okay, bye.